Let me tell you a little bit more about this conical keel problem. Here's a V-tool as it comes out of the box. It's got a very thick piece of metal here, and the keel narrows in a sort of conical way down to the tip here. So this is the cutting apex, little radius, big radius here. What it should look like is more like this, so that the keel is much slenderer, more parallel, and there's less metal here. So what is the problem? Well, if I was to cut with this tool, like so, it's all right when it's shallow. We can produce a nice shallow cut, but that cut here reflects this little tip. It's then followed through by a big cone of metal, so it's very difficult to make this go deeper into the wood. You're trying to force a cone of metal into the groove. When you have a narrow keel like this, you can certainly make this narrow trench like that using just the tip here, but when you want to go deeply, it's very easy because you're not following this cut with a big cone of metal. So that's the problem, and that's really what we need to deal with. So going back to this tool here, what we have to do is remove metal from there, and this is a tool I showed earlier in the introductory video where I've removed metal here. So I'm going to show you how to do that on a grinding wheel. What often happens though is when tools are being made, the manufacturer will in fact draw the whole thing back like this. So that's another thing you can do. So I'm going to show you how to do this bit as well to make that a much neater finish, but does take longer. So I'll show you how to do those two functions now. After you've set the keel angle correctly and you've set the chisels, the two sides, then you need to do this sort of action to narrow the keel. You start with it on the bevel of the chisel part, and then as you come forward you drop the handle slightly and you rotate just a little bit towards the keel, so you're heading right towards this point. Find that keel angle, bevel angle there on the main chisel, and then drop the handle, rotate it like so. And you do this at the coarse stage and then refine it later with the arc and saw or the other fine stone. On this tool, which is straight out of the box, I'm going to remove metal from this corner here. The keel angle is pretty good, so I don't need to deal with that. So what I do is I use the corner of this grinding wheel here as a sort of knife, and I very carefully brush the corner onto that little point where the bevel, the side and the keel all come together. Move a little of that hill, and then I keep going checking it constantly, making sure the tool doesn't get warm, or hot rather, dipping it in water. And I gradually work that back. It's important that you don't go to the cutting edge here and that you don't meet in the midline. So there should still be the keel left when you're finished. You can do one side and then you can swap to the other side in exactly the same way. And then have a look, trying to keep them equal. So here is a tool from the grinding wheel. You can see that I haven't met in the middle. There's still a keel here, that's really important. That's the part the tool sits on, and that should be the correct angle still. And I haven't ground up to the point here. I've really taken away that like a hill here, that cone here, on both sides, and that gives you that narrow keel.